sit down, make sure I look good. Am I in focus? No clue. Hey everyone, so I got a new camera, woo, and I have no idea how to use it yet, so I look kind of yellow because I'm using my lamp to light this because it's kind of late, and all sorts of other excuses for why things aren't perfect yet. I'm not even sure I'm really that in focus. It has a little flippy screen, which I can see over here, and it looks okay, but not quite sure. So this is going to be every Monday now. We're going to be doing Ask Megs, and I'm very excited about it, and I'm trying to work on the time-lapse Gundam video for this week, but it will probably be next week just because I want to take a whole Sunday to do the time-lapse, and I got this crazy remote thing that's supposed to do time-lapse, and then I set it all up and I was ready to tackle it, and it has like the wrong connector or something, and I think he charged me like $100 for it, and they're like 20 bucks online, so I gotta take it back anyway, and I'll just order one from Amazon that I know for sure will work and also will not be like $100 and whatever he charged me. I was a sheep to the slaughter in that store for sure. I just walked in with like a text message of what I was supposed to be buying, and I'm sure I got taken for a ride, but whatever. Ask Meg! The only bummer about this camera versus my iPhone is I can't see how long I've been recording, so expect me to ramble. At James Dav says, will you do another Assassin's Creed cosplay, please? Because if you and Jessica did a shoot together, I'd die, please. The Assassin's Creed cosplay that I did for the Assassin's Creed 3 review on SourceFed was not my cosplay. I borrowed it from a friend, Candace, who did a lovely job, and I love Jessica's AC4 cosplay and Monica's AC4 cosplay are both gorgeous, so maybe the next time around we'll all do pirates if they're not done with it or whatever. I'm totally down. I think they're super fun, and Jessica looks banging. I love that girl. At Tekken Fixed says, why is everyone so afraid of the friend zone? I think that people genuinely, or generally, I didn't think about what I was going to say before I said it. I think people generally are afraid of the friend zone because everybody wants to be liked. Even if it's just, you know, like on a, God, I want to say like even if it's just on a sexual level, because that's not really what the friend zone is about. It's about like desiring to be with someone, not just like to sleep with them. But I think everybody wants to be liked, and when you feel like you've already been counted out because you're too nice or whatever, it just kind of feels bad. It just feels like you haven't been selected, you know what I mean? So it's not even so much about being afraid of the friend zone. I've been using a lot of finger quotes already. It's just about being disappointed that you feel like you've already been counted out of something. Even if it's like if I didn't, like, if it's something that didn't matter to me, if I know I can't do it, it bothers me. Like, if there's a store that I was, like, walking by, this is a really stupid scenario, but it's the first thing that came to mind. If I were walking by a store and somebody were like, you can't come in here, I'd be like, the fuck is in that store? At first, I'd be like, fine, I didn't even want to come in your store, but in my head, I'd be like, maybe I want to be in that store. Why can't I be in the store? What's wrong with me that I don't want to be in the store? Why is your store so shitty that I can't be in there? Like, it would get to me. And that's what, you know, people being left out of the friend zone feels like, or being in the friend zone feels like. It's just like, oh, I didn't even want to date you, but now I can't date you? Okay, now well, what's going on there? Feels shitty. Well, there tonight. There's no phone calls during Ask Meg. Okay, maybe there are phone calls during Ask Meg. It was worth it. At Logan Hollinger says, Meg, my best friend is stuck in a relationship with a guy who's emotionally abusive. What should I do to help her? Whew, that is much heavier than the friend zone. Okay, so I just ran up the stairs, sorry. Okay, so really, I mean, the only thing you can ever do as a friend in a relationship that's gotten out of control, whether it be controlling, which is a type of emotional abuse, or a boyfriend that's just a piece of shit or isn't good enough for your friend or whatever it is, all you can do, honestly, and it feels so helpless, and I hate it when I'm the friend of the scenario and I feel like I can't do anything, all you can do is love your friend and give them advice and hope that they take it. I mean, genuinely, that's really, your course of action is very limited, and it doesn't feel good, I know, and it feels really frustrating, but all you can do is love your friend and let them know that what they're experiencing isn't fair or right, and that they deserve better, and encourage them to leave. And you can't make that decision for them. They have to make that decision for themselves. And you can't let it be something that weighs on you and makes you feel like it's your responsibility. I mean, at the end of the day, your friend needs to make decisions for his or herself, and all you can do is be there to be supportive, and honestly, if it gets to a point where you're, I think I don't know what the emotional abuse is, so I can't really say, but if there's a legitimate concern there and they're under 18, going to an adult is always a viable solution. Don't overlook that. Like letting somebody know that something is wrong. A lot of times teenagers get in relationships that are emotionally abusive and they don't even really realize that they're being emotionally abusive, or they're doing things that they think are just, oh, teenage dramatics, nobody will care, but it really affects people and it'll affect them for the rest of their lives. So it's important that if they're under 18, that you go to somebody, you go to an authority figure, you get that person help, counseling, therapy, whatever it is they need. You can only, again, like your options are limited. You can only encourage them to do those things. You can't do those things for them. But if they're under 18, you can always go to an adult who can intervene if it's needed. The problem is when people turn 18, you can't really do anything unless it's physically abusive, and by then it's, I mean, it's just become so much more, you know what I mean? It's already so emotionally abusive at that point, I'm sure. So, super heavy, but bottom line is love your friend and be there to support them and do what you can to get them the help that they need. I just looked at my shoe. Is there poop on my shoe? What is on my shoe? What is on this shoe? Nope, it's just dirt. I totally smell tested it. It's dirt, don't worry. God, none of this can go in the vlog. At OO Status says, does age matter when it comes to dating? So I got kind of slammed for this a week or so ago because I said in a table talk that I don't normally date people who are younger than I am. Everybody has their own preferences when it comes to dating. Sometimes people like to date people who are older, sometimes people would like to date people who are younger. The only time age really matters is when it's illegal, to be perfectly frank. Everybody has their own preferences, like I said, and it's up to you to figure out what's best for you. And I'm just, you know, there's a huge difference between a 14 and an 18-year-old and a 20 and a 24-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, the age difference may be the same, but the maturity difference is huge in those two different scenarios. So it's really about how mature the other person is, how you work together, and yeah, I think that's the most important part. What is going off with you and that guy? Nope, not putting that in the vlog. Ikasaur says, what is your favorite Miyazaki / Studio Ghibli movie? This is hard. This is really hard. But I'm gonna say My Neighbor Totoro because Tonari no Totoro is one of those that I can watch anytime and it's still like Tonari no Totoro, Totoro. Like, it's always exciting and cute and adorable. And there's this really wicked fan theory that it's actually an allegory for these two girls that were legitimately really killed in Japan by this dude, and it makes the movie very dark, and I thought it would ruin it for me, but actually, I don't know, it sounds weird, it kind of made it cooler. I don't mean like it made it cooler, it was just like, it was a neat thing to think about. It made me go back and watch the movie again and like really pay attention to the things that could line up and that maybe don't line up. I love weird theories like that. Like, I've only seen The Shining like twice all the way through, or maybe even once all the way through. I've seen a lot of the parts several times, but like maybe once altogether. But I watched this whole long documentary on, and it's not even Room 237 or whatever the documentary that just came out. There's another documentary that like a dude in his basement made about how it's actually Stanley Kubrick trying to admit that he faked the moon landing. I totally watched that because I love stuff like that. Like, I love weird conspiracy theories that I don't really think are true but are like fun to listen to. I love when people try to like pull things out of the air to make their points. I also did watch the new documentary. It's like Room 237 or something like that. And I'll probably get stomped on for not remembering what that name is, but I'm sure it's important. But that one, by the way, I watched the one of the dude in the basement. That one, Room 237, or I hope it's Room 237, it like you're falling along, you're like, all right, and then it's just like, whew, like off, just out there. So I thought it was fun because it was so ridiculous, but I love stuff like that. So I love fan theories about movies, and Totoro has a great one. Na na na. Mila says, have you finished Allegiant and what did you think of the ending? I haven't finished Allegiant because some jerk off ruined the ending for me. We're friends now. You know what? Let me take that back. I've forgiven him in the comments of that video. We're not friends right now because we just can't be. I just need to be mad about it. And it totally killed my drive to read the book. I know a lot of people were saying it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, and I totally agree with that, but it's just like, I don't know, it like killed my excitement. The thing is, I read Divergent when it first came out. I waited a year to read Insurgent, and then I waited another year to read Allegiant, so it was 2 friggin' years of my life that I was waiting for this ending, and it got ruined, and it sucks. But I will still read the book. I did when I started Allegiant. I read Insurgent the day it came out and was like done with it like 2 days later. The problem with that is I haven't revisited Divergent or Insurgent since, and so I opened Allegiant and I was like, oh, I sort of remember what's happening. So I had to read like a summary of Insurgent. My copy is supposedly missing. It's not on my shelf. Kate Keenan, you jerk, I know you have it. Calling you out in my vlog. So I didn't get to reread Insurgent before Allegiant came out, and so I haven't finished it. Long story short, I haven't finished it. Long story, I stumble over things. I haven't finished it. Alright guys, that's it for the first Ask Meg on my new camera. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and don't forget you can keep sending in your questions using the hashtag AskMeg anytime. I'm probably going to start filming these on the weekend sometime, so during the week just send in your questions. I'll see them and I'll answer your questions, and you guys are awesome! Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give me tons of pointers about the camera and the lighting and the microphone situation, because clearly I didn't think ahead of time on that either, and I will use them and it'll be awesome. Okay. Heart you!